Hey everyone, we're here to unbox the Laurentian electric bicycle from CCM. We're currently in the CCM warehouse. You may notice throughout the video that we've got a bit of background noise from the warehouse workers, so if you don't mind, just ignore that. So you'll notice first off, when you open your box, you've got a bunch of these copper staples. You're either gonna wanna watch out for those or just remove them, because they can end up scratching the bike as you bring it out. First things you're gonna notice coming out are usually the charger and the accessories. I'm gonna put those aside. Most other things are attached. It should come out as a solid piece. Watch me struggle. It's not the heaviest bike. And here we have the Laurentian as it has come out of the box. Don't cut towards the bike, cut away from the bike. Now we're gonna start by taking the straps off. When you're putting the wheel aside, just make sure you put the rotor upwards because if you bend it, the brakes won't work. Here you'll find the keys zip tied to the front of the bike. So we'll set those aside safely as well. Now that we've got everything unboxed and unpackaged, we're gonna open up the accessories. You'll find your instructions. You'll find your pedals, cable ties. You can cut these to length, use them how you like. And the light system as well. And then you have your chargers and your compliance reflectors and whatnot. You'll notice a bullseye. You want the bullseye upon setup to be in the middle of this hole in the middle of the plate. When you're installing these 4 screws, don't tighten them down until they're all in. So first thing I'll do is put the handlebars on. And that'll be a 4mm Allen key into the 4 bolts that go into the faceplate. And now I will put the crosshairs into the center. And then I'm gonna get them basically finger tight, all of them, before I start actually screwing them in. Once they're finger tight, we're gonna go in a cross pattern. We're gonna do a little by little, maybe a quarter turn or so. You might find it easier to just install the light at this point. When we're looking at this, you'll notice where the screw mount screw goes through. One side of this is unthreaded, one side is threaded. You need it to pass through the unthreaded side first in order to be able to pinch the light into place. Once we've got that all installed, we can connect the wiring. Now the wires are color coded. There's a male and a female side to each plug. I'm gonna route them underneath the handlebars. On the side of each one of these, there's an arrow that you're gonna find. Line the arrows up and push them together. You're gonna wanna be really careful. You don't wanna bend the pins in the middle because you will end up having to rewire your bike and kind of deal with your wiring as you like. And we're gonna take off this, it's a shipping axle basically. They just put it there so that your front fork, the dropouts can't get squished in towards each other. You'll find when they ship, they've got a spacer in between the caliper, the brake pads here. So we're gonna need to remove that. So I guess before we put the wheel on, I'm gonna loosen these nuts back so they can get into the dropout. You'll line up the wheel based on the brake rotor. The brake rotor goes into the brake caliper. Make sure the tires are in the right direction. Tires are directional. If you see a V of any kind or a U in the treading, it will always point towards the direction of rotation. We're gonna get those washers to the outside of the forks, and we've lined up the brake rotor in between the brake pads and the caliper. And we will now tighten that down. Usually I'll tighten one side. And then I will check the position of the wheel within the fork here. If it's centered, then you're good to go. Test the brake. We don't want any rubbing to happen. Perfect. We'll install the front fender. It's just the shipping protector. These are towards the back. This is towards the front. This connects to that. You're gonna have to sneak this one in a little bit. Then we'll grab a 5mm Allen key to take out this bolt. So we're gonna access this one with the 5mm Allen key. Now, the spacing is a little funny here. Getting it in this way or that way isn't gonna work. So we're gonna have to go the lengthwise way. And then if it's a little bit tight, just grab a set of pliers and that should help you break it. There we go. Line it up. Okay. I'm gonna leave it kind of finger tight so we can adjust it. Now we're gonna attach these parts. You're gonna need a 4mm Allen key as well as a 3mm Allen key. So we're gonna remove this screw and then we're gonna get that in. Again, just leaving it finger tight, slightly loose so we can adjust things. Same idea on the other side. And then the end goal here is to just make sure that the fender is even over top of the tire. On the left side of the fork, you'll see a preload adjustment. And this will allow you to adjust the amount of force needed to preload the fork. On the right side of the fork, you'll find a suspension lockout switch. Now you can turn the travel of the suspension off or on using this adjustment dial here. There is an adjustment on the kickstand. This bottom portion of the leg can extend. Now, if your bike is sitting a little too far on the side, you can extend this one with a 4mm Allen key in the back. Okay, so we're gonna do the pedals next. You'll see out of the gate that we've got a left and a right pedal. And the reason they have a left and a right is because the threading on them is different. Now, it is highly recommended that you apply some thick grease to the threads before you put them on. Now, you just need enough to cover it, about that much. Something like that. Left on left, right on right. Now we're gonna have to remove these stickers and just peel it off. Threading these in, it's a 15mm wrench, and you will always thread across the top towards the front of the bike. Here we go. Again, we're just gonna remove the sticker, again, across the top towards the front of the bike. And if you don't have a 15mm wrench, you can put this in with a 6mm Allen key on the back side of the crank arm. There we go. That's that. Now you'll notice I've been working with my own tools so far. The kits do come with everything you do need, so you don't have to worry about it. Once you've got everything else put together, just make sure that everything that's mounted onto the handlebars has been tightened down properly. Coming from the factory, every now and then you'll find something like that. So to tighten this guy on here, we're gonna get a 2.5mm Allen key. Since this is the display, you're gonna set it kind of to your own preference. There we go. Beep. Seems good to me. Now that we've got everything attached and tightened, we're gonna do a quick run through on the e-bike functions. The top button held down for 3 seconds will turn on the system. The up and down buttons will cycle through the different speed modes. You'll see no speed mode, so this is just classic bicycle. U pedal, no assist. We've got eco mode, tour mode, sport, turbo, and boost mode. Each of those have their own variations of assistance and speed limits. We've also got our left indicator with a flashing arrow letting you know which direction you are currently indicating, and the right indicator. This is the throttle, as you see, on boost mode. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see a button that will cycle through different informational screens. This will give you your trip distance, total trip, average speed, and max speed achieved on the trip. To turn the headlight on, you're just gonna hold the top button. You'll notice your screen dims as your light comes on, and as you turn your light off, your screen will get a bit brighter. So to access the settings for the e-bike functions, you're gonna hold down the bottom button for 1 or 2 seconds. You're gonna cycle through the selections with the up and down arrow keys, and you're gonna move forward into your selection with a short click on the bottom button. To move back, hold the bottom button. There we are. You'll find the charge port for the battery on the left side with a weatherproof stopper. Remove that, and plug the provided charger in to charge your battery. Now you can charge the battery on the frame, you can charge the battery off the frame. It doesn't matter, whatever's convenient. You'll notice you get a set of keys when you open your box. The keys are for the battery. The key will release the battery. You pull it out from the top first and slide it away from the bottom. The connections are down here, so be mindful of that. Now you can take the battery out to charge this off-site if you need to take it into your office, for example. It's also a security feature. Obviously, if the battery's not in the bike is not functional as an e-bike, so if you would like to secure it, you can take the battery with you. Setting the battery back inside, we're just gonna make sure that we're connected to the back connections, and then it just sits in quite nicely. When you're charging the battery, we're gonna make sure that we only use the charger that came with the bike. And the reason for that is, even if you have one where the connection fits, it doesn't mean it's giving the correct voltage. You can damage the battery by using the wrong charger. If you've lost your charger, replace it with one from CCM themselves. The CCM Laurentian comes with a torque sensor as opposed to a cadence sensor, which is the sensor responsible for letting the bike know that you are actively pedaling, and tells it to apply the pedal assist. You'll find with cadence sensors that there is a bit of a delay. This bike, with its torque sensor, has eliminated that. It gives you a much more responsive and intuitive ride and a cleaner connection with the pedal assist. We're gonna make sure that the tires are inflated to a proper pressure. The max pressure in these ones, stock, is 50 PSI. We're gonna inflate it from this location here, which is a standard bike pump, also known as a Schrader valve, and we can use that to increase the pressure as we desire. So before we test ride the bike for ourselves, we're just gonna make sure that the setup for it is as ideal as possible for us. The main thing you're gonna adjust here is the seat height. Now, if you're not aware, the optimal seat height setting is one where when you cross the bottom part of the pedal rotation, you'll have your leg very nearly fully extended with your knee slightly bent while being in contact with the seat and the pedal there. And that's kind of the optimal seat post height for you. Wow! And there we are. You'll notice on the outside of the box, as well as on the frame of the bike, there's a QR code. When you scan it and follow the link, you'll find access to the owner's manual, as well as the proper assembly instructions. You'll find links to this video, as well as safe operational tips and tricks.